Now, I honestly pretty much expected this to play out this way. As I said earlier this year and last year, that we wouldn't see any reasonable change until mortgage interest rates were near 15%. And I think that at the time we were high 5%, almost 6%. Now we're over 8%, I believe. And we're continuously trending north to 10%. Will we hit 15%? I don't know. But it's funny because today I opened up my email and Patty sent me an email and it was talking about how you needed to make or earn 55% more money now than you did just a short while ago for housing for the home ownership dream to be considered affordable. And I get it. It makes sense. Mathematically, I've been tracking this since we sold our house in 2022. I think it was 2022. And we moved to Florida and we have been renting ever since. And we are looking to buy, but one of the biggest holdups now are interest rates. Not so much the price of the properties and asking prices of real estate, but the interest rates, because I'm not super interested in paying cash. So, but I'm also not really motivated to finance at a really high interest rate. So, more so importantly, I was having this conversation and discussion with a friend of mine, Chris Igo, who he's also a YouTuber. He's been featured on other channels of mine. I've been on his channel a few times. He's been on Squirrel Tribe 2.0, I believe. And odds are you're probably going to see him more in the future on future collaborations. But we were working together on a project for his channel where he was making the same statements as he is a real estate agent, a real estate professional in Boynton Beach, Florida, and how much more expensive mortgages are today for the same loan values of borrowing amounts for the mortgage, whether it be $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, and how much more that mortgage payment is every month as a result of the increase in interest rates to buy the same property, to buy the same amount of house, and also the underwriting requirements to be approved to get a clear to close based on your income. And more importantly, your debt to income, because with the increased challenges in the economy and the increased challenges in people's finances, there's also going to be an increase in debt. So not only do you have to earn more to buy the same property, to pay more because of higher interest rates, you have to have less debt to be able to be considered qualified to afford it. And the email that I received, it was a link to a Fortune article, which I don't have a Fortune account, so I wasn't able to read it. But I can pretty much assume to guess where they're headed with this. And it's not surprising, because if we think back to last year when Jerome Powell at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, he said there will be pain felt by families and businesses. And that's exactly what they're doing, except the pain hasn't been felt enough, unfortunately, to create any meaningful change. And I don't know if it ever will, because essentially the pain that would be felt would be by businesses and families. Businesses would then in turn lower their prices to become more competitive for gaining customers and retaining customers and conducting business, which would then trickle down to their suppliers, and we can start to see prices come down. But I don't see that happening. Also, the pain felt by families would then be forcing some of these families to make cutbacks, which would then force the hand of some of these businesses, but also force them to possibly sell real estate to gain access to equity, downsize to a much more affordable or less expensive residence. And that's not going to happen because everything is still really high. Everything is really expensive. So even if you wanted to downsize, which typically would mean I'm going to sell my home, I'm going to get a smaller footprint, maybe even move a little further away from where I work, and I'll save money. But that's not really the case because pretty much all housing is expensive. We are seeing fluctuations in rent prices from here to there, but for the most part, it's still really, really high. And so the downsizing and moving further away doesn't even save you any money, or at least not as much as it used to for the trade-off. Let alone people aren't necessarily in a financial position to be able to even qualify to do that. While buyers aren't necessarily capable, able, or willing to then buy your property at its new valuation and just pay these high interest rates and mortgages. But there are people out there who are willing to, invest. And these are the big businesses. These are the big corporations. And I'll tell you guys that after watching Dumb Money yesterday in theaters about how a Reddit subreddit was able to rally together and collectively work to fight the billionaires out there, the hedge fund managers, Wall Street, basically, and Congress. That movie was a little eye-opening. So I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I would definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, or at least get a little bit of a synopsis of the story, because the folks out there who have that money are not going to pay you what you're worth. They're not going to pay you for what the property's worth. And that's just on the family side. If we go to the business side, then they're going to buy out businesses at pennies on the dollar, probably after they've put the squeeze on them and choked them out, and then buy them out, or, through a merger and acquisition, and then suck all the money out of those companies and let them go bankrupt and continue on their merry little way. So, it's a very, very, very flawed system, unfortunately, to be honest and tell you the truth. And because the system is flawed, and because it is so bad, and because it is only really, truly getting worse, reading articles that say you have to earn 55% more today than you did, let's just say like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 55% more to even consider home ownership to be affordable, it's par for the course. I mean, you got to think 55% more. Let's just say, which this is a high number based on some of the numbers that I've been hearing from other experts and analysts, and these are all general rule of thumb, which I know isn't necessarily, it doesn't apply to everybody, right? But essentially, let's just say you made $100,000. We're going to use $100,000 for easy numbers, okay? Let's just say you made $100,000. Anyone who's ever worked hard to make $100,000 a year. Now, granted, there are exceptions here where some folks have the key, they have the secret, they know it, they got it, okay? To turn 100 into 2, into 2 into 3 and 4, and they got it, okay? So $100,000 is nothing, okay? But for the average person who dreams of earning a 6-figure salary and crossing over the $100,000 mark, annual income, salary, or wages, if you've ever worked hard to make that happen, think about how much harder you'd have to work to make $155,000. And that's essentially where we're at. Whereas if $100,000 made housing affordable, well, now you got to make $155,000 to make housing affordable. You see what I'm saying? And that is no simple or easy task. I know a lot of folks out there who never have and never will make more than $100,000 a year. And if you were then to tell them that you finally made it, but you need to make 155,000, they would probably just want to give up. They probably just want to give up and just say, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. This is insane. Okay. And that's the route that we're going. And the path that we're on, the direction that we're going down, I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon, these headlines read, you got to make 65% more, 70% more, 100% more. So you work really hard to make 100K, and now you got to make 200K to live the same life. This is inflation, sort of. More so some other things than just inflation, but this is a rapid, accelerated evolution of the world, really. It's not just our country, it's the world. And it's only getting worse with talks of increased challenges for employment and careers and jobs and earning potential with, in my opinion, AI potentially being the downfall of society, period, bar none. We'll get into that a little bit more later with some of the things that I see rolling out from YouTube, being Dream Screen and a new AI-based operating system for mobile devices, and AI, taking jobs, of course. But it's unbelievably scary to think about where we are today versus where we were last year versus where we were the year before that and the year before that. But then to think about where we will be next year and the year after and the year after that. Now, granted, I will say that there is a possibility that in 2024, late 2024 or 2025, that we could potentially see a change. But there's no guarantees there, no matter what happens in November of next year. There's no guarantee of that, no matter what. So this is just me wanting to be 100% honest and transparent with you all about what has happened, what I'm seeing right now, and what I expect to see in the future, and potentially maybe bring you guys more videos and conversations and maybe even live streams about what could potentially be done to prepare yourself and plan and strategize moving forward to be able to brace yourself for these challenges. Now, I don't think that home ownership is off the tape. I don't think it's out of the question. I just think we're going to have to get really creative on how we go about home ownership, different than what we used to in the past. And fortunately for me, I work with a lot of different people in a lot of different areas and different businesses and different markets and different parts of the world. So I can bring that to you guys. So if you would like for me to bring that, then hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know. These are the easiest ways to let me know that, hey, Kevin, this sounds good. I think I'd like to hear more about this. I think I'd like to know more, learn more, and connect with you. Okay, great. But if not, then I got to assume that this isn't the conversation. This isn't the discussions and talks that interest people. So maybe we'll have a different talk, different chat next time. I don't know. I have to see what the results come back as. I don't want this to be me trying to sell you anything. I don't want this to be you trying to sign up for a course or anything like that. I just want it to be a way for us to effectively communicate about the things that are happening, good, bad, or indifferent, and making sure that we're getting ready for what's to come. And understanding that, yeah, some people will be scared. They will be afraid. They will be worried. They will have panic and anxiety, especially depending on who they're talking to on a regular basis. But me personally, I'm going to try to keep it real. I'm going to try to keep it transparent. I'm going to try to keep it neutral. Bipartisan, I guess, is one of the words that they would use. but just kind of give it to you straight, give it to you how I see it, and not sugarcoat it, but not like over sensationalize it or try to alarm you with any of this craziness. And that's pretty much it. So I appreciate you guys listening. It's been a minute since I uploaded a video on this channel. I will try not to go so far in between intervals of bringing you more, but I don't want to waste your time by bringing you things that are unnecessary just to upload a video. So if I feel the need and I feel compelled to share, or at the very least, you guys are asking questions and I can provide you answers, then definitely you'll see more uploads more frequently. But quality over quantity, right? Thanks again for listening. You guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you real soon.